So Squall's got anger problems, he just doesn't let them out, so I let them out for him. See that? Shooting stars. And we are introduced to the only member of the team who's not really a member of the team. And an interesting notion in video games. Did you see that, folks? I know I did. I am a man. She has small boobs. And I like that because you never see that anymore in games. Where have normal boobs gone? Why does everything have to be like lower back problems later in life? So Renault's kind of forward and extremely materialistic. She's about as shallow as it gets at this point. And her legs do look like a pair of stairs, but that's just because of the pixels. Look into my eyes. You are going to drink my Rohypnol drink that I made especially for you. I do not know why I have suddenly gone Eastern European. At that angle, Squall hasn't got eyes. He looks like the Maiden in Black. Hey babe, I can't dance. You deaf? You got one of those ear things? Here comes the jealous ex. So, Squall, you won't dance with me, but you'll dance with a stranger? That dance wasn't perfect. You don't learn how to dance that fast. It doesn't work that way. You don't suddenly know the fucking moves that you've never seen before. Unless you Squall, of course, because Squall's magic. Yes? It's like when Mel Gibson opens the door on South Park. You can't stand to be around me. Am I really so repulsive, Squall? I mean, sure, I put a finger in your ass, but you were ready for it, and you liked it. I know you liked it. Did you like it? You're an instructor and I'm your student, and there's nothing wrong with that, Squall. You're both adults. This is hot. I watched a film last night called The Lifeguard where, like, nearly 30 journalists was fucking a 16-year-old, and they were looking at it like child pornography, and I'm sorry, but if I was that 16-year-old, I would not be looking at that like child pornography. Because when I was 16, I had infinite amounts of energy and a libido to match it. And the only thing that's really changed is the old energy. Now there we go. You and I had to go to the secret area. It's where students secretly meet up and talk after curfew. Yes. Talk. What do you want to do there? Double anal. And he's always so clinical. He's like, if you're doing disciplinary duties, just leave that for someone else. I'm not down, dog. Quistis is essentially at this moment in time saying, come to this secretive place where student and instructor can get together in sweaty sex. And he's just not getting it. I know where to go. I've played before. Like, this is your graduation, dude. Just nail them all. I don't know, maybe Squall's a nicer person than I am. Or maybe he just doesn't get those impulses, but you're throwing around all this porcelain skin. A man has to be a man at some point. I'm going to save after we've got his clothing on. A lot of changing clothes in this first part of the game, and then there's none of it later on. Like, you've got your test suit, you've got your graduation suit, and then you've got your standard suit. So I am curious for the people who haven't played to leave their thoughts on where they think the story's going at certain parts of the game. And I would really appreciate it if these people did that. And I would also really appreciate it if people didn't completely choke them out for doing it. Because it's interesting to have a little intrigue in a series, I believe. I'm going the wrong way. And there's nothing worse than putting forward a suggestion that's meant to be playful and obviously not going to happen or not true, and for some You know, somebody who doesn't really understand the subtleties of language and conversing with another human being, be it face-to-face or through the internet, who comes along and calls them a retard, because that's not what happens, because they haven't played the game, and they have. And it's like, this person hasn't even played, dude. Why would they know what is going to happen? And why are you so upset that they don't when they haven't fucking played? Like, do you not see the grand contradiction here? One is ignorant to something they don't understand or have knowledge of. Until they have knowledge and understanding of said thing, they will forever be ignorant of said thing. And we've got another junction tutorial. But apparently if you press triangle, it skips it. But when I was pressing triangle on the PS2, or on the PlayStation 1 version, it didn't skip it. That's interesting. So what she's telling us is we can junction and status effects to our attacks. And she's telling us this because there is an especially strong enemy in this area. It's called a T-Rex. And we all know what a T-Rex is, because it's the second most lethal thing on this planet. The only thing more lethal than that is, of course, a T-Rex with a chainsaw. And what I'm doing here is I'm giving these two characters all the GFs so that we can learn while they're not, you know, per se in the team. You don't have to. Like, Quistis doesn't have any magic. She's probably not going to get any magic in this interval. But it's still good to have her able to do things. And I've just done that again where I forget to... Yeah, you're already junctioned. Oh, learning these abilities is taking forever. But we do have a boss coming up. And I could card the T-Rex guy. The big problem is, though, I don't know it yet. Who is it that learns it? Is it Quits? It is Quits. Interesting. So I'm going to continue having to beat bosses to get AP because I can't card them yet. That's the first thing I should have learnt. I have made a mistake, guys, but it's okay. It's more than manageable. It just means that it's going to be slightly tougher earlier on. This is going to be Grats. Grats are T-Rexes. That's a Grat. And it got the first attack, which is gay. So we'll see what magic he's got. Sleeps. Sleeps are useful because you can actually put things to sleep and then draw from them. But I'm not going to be, you know, boring people with drawing. I'm going to do that off cast, or off recording, sorry. Just couldn't let us go, could you? Couldn't let us run away. I had to just get that one last smack in. Look at him! Like fucking Rocky. Just let us leave, dog. Quite curious to see how tough this fight's going to be coming up, because I've normally got Life Magic Refine and a couple of Curagas at this point. That is a T-Rex. Yeah, fuck him. Because I can't card him. If I can't card him, there's no point fighting him because he takes ages to kill. And he drops Dino Bones, which do refine into... Oh, look at this. Fucking trash. Worst part about random battles, that. And I've done it again. These pansy triggers. I cannot wait to get my hands on a PS4 controller. Just because I don't like this one so much. And I just get a feeling like the PS4 controller is going to nail it. Because there's nothing wrong with the PS2 one. Nothing. And they did this with these stupid triggers. Like, it's like Sony thought that people were going to use them for first-person shooters, and then the developers of the games realised that the triggers are dog shit, so they never map them to the trigger, ever. It's always R1. You know, nobody wants to press weird, spongy triggers for triggers. It's not how triggers work. Oh, Squall could have got so laid on this part. And we all saw Quistis in that CG trailer thing. She did not look half bad. All the straight men and lesbians will concur to that one. It's been a while since somebody took me here. I'm not surprised. I don't want to stand in a place with a bunch of couples kissing and shit. Quistith? What's that giant blue thing above the garden? Well, it's what we call a light curtain. That's about as much science as you're gonna get. It just looks really pretty. Hammer time. It's after midnight. See, I blame Quistis just as much as I blame Squall. I'm no longer an instructor as of now, which means I'm legal. Get it? She got a spike on her face. Come on, Squall. Maybe if you bust a nut, you won't be so introverted and serious all the time. Do it, Squall. Cup that ass. Kiss that neck. Be a man. They told me that I failed as an instructor. Wow. It's not your fault Sifa's an asshole, and those random stamping and clicking people were all bad anyway. They were too busy practicing that little failure dance. I was a seed by the age of 15, got my instructor license at 17. She's 18, Squall! Just do it! For me! God damn it! Are you listening? You're not even looking at me. Wow, that's a big sigh. You've got to hide your sighs better, Squall. That way people will know that you actually care. I don't want to talk about it. Did you just wave a gloved hand at me? You want someone to listen to? Talk to a shower. You see, this is something that's only going to really resonate with people who've played before. Because Squall is essentially emotionally damaged at this point. And there is a really good reason for it, it's just you don't find out until quite far into the game. And a lot of people don't like Squall based on this early part of the game because of these problems he had in the past. But it will all come to light And he'll stop acting like such a pandering child, which is quite good. Is there any need for that garden to shine a beam into space? We're actually the garden with the largest light beam. Yeah, it's 2 years in a row actually. Yeah, it's a tough job, but we enjoy it. We're gonna hear a scream coming up, and then we get to fight the Granado and the bloody armadillo things, armados. So a key to seeing what enemy it is the camera. The camera does set tracks for set enemies. If you play the game quite a lot, you'll come to understand and remember which is for which. Like, obviously some of them are more easy to spot than others. And it's the exact same as Final Fantasy X. On Final Fantasy X, depending on the way the camera introduces the enemy, depends on what enemy it is. So you can predict what the enemy is going to be before it actually spawns in. But it relies on like a good knowledge and memory of the game, which I've lost lately. Because it's been a while since I played Final Fantasies in general. So I would never normally recommend using magic you've got junctioned, but this early on it has such a small effect on my actual stats. It's not even funny. Somebody help. Come on, Squall. Let's do this. Oh, what? What? I could influence his movements, and he was running by himself. That was great. Squall! Quisty! So right there is a very interesting, subtle clue to story elements later on. Not only does that person know both Squall and Quistis, but she knows Quistis by a name. A pet name, you could say. Here he comes. This guy's going to pick up these fat dudes and throw them at us. And depending on the damage they do, which is not too much, thank gosh. Ooh. Draw failed. Sack of racists. All I want to know is find out what that is. So ideally here you want to get rid of all the dudes on the floor, because then it gives the dude on the top nothing to hit him with. It went enough. I don't believe this. I'm actually attacking myself to get him down into limit break. There we go. Thank you. So tempted to summon. Oh, Squall. You're killing me. Another thing to bear in mind as well, if you move the movement speed up to, or the battle speed, sorry, up to fast, the enemies will attack really quickly. And for certain encounters, if you find that you're getting overwhelmed, it can be best to turn it down. I like the fast one because it forces me to react. I don't like it when I'm looking for magic. I don't think it pauses the game when you're looking for items either, but I could be wrong. He's going to kill him with that. Oh no, he didn't. Very close to though. Again. But we're just going to focus on the boss. And if we keep getting rough divides, this should be over pretty quick. Oh, it's over now. We just have to finish off his buddies, I think. Yeah. So a quicker way would be to just summon to kill the buddies and then do the limit break to kill the boss. Like, these guys are no real threat. They've got more life than I expected though, but that's all good. Because I'll just have Quistis smack Squall, put him back into a decent range so we can actually hit them. In an animation that looks badass. Maybe not. Boom! The guy sounds like he's having some serious fun on those keys. Wait. Is it dead? It is not dead. This one is. See you later, friend. Ooh, crit. Love it. Love everything about it. I just wish she had a shotgun on the tip of her whip so I could press the R1 as it connected and do a shotgun blast. Ooh, wizard stones. Very good. Finally learning some junctioning. Always good. And then one of my favourite pieces of music from the soundtrack, Drifting. It is not safe here. Please, let's go. I just didn't understand why she would be in the training area. Who was that? I don't know, some chick with some tassels on her arms. It's kinda hot.